What's up guys, it's your IVF bestie, and today I'm going to talk about life after loss, specifically miscarriage, and this is going to be a doozy because I'm talking about personal experience and it's still pretty fresh. It hasn't been a year yet and life doesn't get any easier. Time keeps going, so I just wanted to take some time to talk about, how to give yourself grace and to just take it day by day, because it really is going to be a tough road after a miscarriage. I did want to mention that life doesn't stop. So when you're going through it, it's like you're in your own little bubble and there's like all this noise. And there's noise, but it's just muffled. And time stands still when you're going through it, and then all of a sudden you get your little bubble pops and it's been 2 weeks, it's been a month, and you're just kind of like, when did I was pregnant yesterday, and then you're like, well no, let me look at a calendar, I had the miscarriage 2 weeks ago. And so I don't know what that is. Hopefully no doctor comes up here and was like, you're depressed. Because it was very surreal. It was like I was just standing still and everything was moving around me, and I just kind of like, I don't know what that is, but that to me is miscarriage. So I don't know if there's like a clinical thing for that. Hopefully not. But it was it was like I blinked and 2 weeks went by, or 2-3 weeks. So it's very, very weird, very unfortunate situation that is miscarriage. And it just doesn't help that time is slow when you're in it, and then all of a sudden it's been 2 weeks. So I will say during that time, it's like you're pregnant and happy, and then you're just really sad for this, like, it's sad and in pain, and then you're going to work the next day and you're like, and you're numb, because it's like, how do I say it? It's such a weird, like, I don't even know how to say it. It's like, it feels like you're in water and everything is loud and quiet at the same time. And then all of a sudden you pick up a noise when you're at work. This is like work specific for some reason, but like I remember it, it's like I was numb, and then there was like chatter, and then it like came into focus, and someone was asking me about something, and I just kind of, what? I don't know. If you get it, please let me know in the comments. Like, I don't even know how to describe what I'm even talking about. I'm talking about like the first day back at work after a miscarriage. You're just kind of like, why am I here? I don't want to be here. Like it's like that. You're like, what? Why am I here? I will say time just moves very differently when you're going through a miscarriage and you're grieving, and time is so different. So I will say, like, the miscarriage from before, during, and after, before it and during it, I was in denial. And I was in denial for such a long time. Like, when I was told I was having a miscarriage, denial. I had the miscarriage, denial, because I was like, oh my gosh, like, I passed all these blood clots. Those were the blood clots that was surrounding baby. I had a miscarriage, and I was so delusional in my head that I was like, no, those were just the blood clots surrounding the baby. That wasn't our baby. And then I go, and then, you had the miscarriage, and then I was like, well, maybe not. I literally saw on the screen I wasn't pregnant, and I was still like, maybe he's hiding. Like, you become clinically, like, honestly, you feel so, like, you feel sane. You feel fine. Not really. Like, you think you're thinking clearly, and you're not. Like, I literally saw on the screen there was no baby in my uterus, and I was like, this doctor knows nothing. Get a different machine. And it's like, okay, crazy. So Yeah, it is physical and mental pain, like you would not believe. The denial is crazy. I was in so much denial that because I didn't know that we did this. Your uterine lining, when you have a miscarriage, your uterine lining also like can break apart and fall off, and you pass that as well. Fun fact, it can also just come out as one. Like it doesn't like break apart and then do that. That's what mine did. And they were like, yeah, you like had contractions again to get your uterine lining out. And I was like, can my uterus like stop? Like, could you not do that? That would love for you to just like work properly. That'd be cool. So it's a very interesting state of mind that you're in when you go through a miscarriage, and the denial is just crazy. So one thing after a miscarriage, or even during a miscarriage, that I don't think anyone like really talks about. First of all, no one really talks about miscarriage. So hopefully this isn't like shocking to anybody, but I had no idea about a miscarriage, what it was, what it would entail, things like that. But as I was going through a miscarriage, it was like, do I tell people? Like, do I tell my friends? Do I tell my family? I had to tell my work. Like, so, and that was hard and disgusting, and I hated it because it's like, I didn't want to tell anybody, but I had to. So you're like, nobody can know. I don't want them to know, because I didn't want it to be real. And then you speak it and then it's real. So again, that is something like, I don't even know what's worse, calling or texting. Like, to write it or to say it, like, and it's, how do you text? Like, hey, not pregnant anymore. Like, you're just like, what do I say in text? Because I don't want to say it on the phone. It's like this whole thing. Oh, it's so exhausting, because then you got to tell everybody. And yeah, it is the worst thing that you could ever go through. Another thing that I didn't even consider when I was going back to work, I would have thought they would have a meeting and be like, hey, you guys know that she was out for, some time. It's because of this. Like, when she gets back, she's not going to be pregnant anymore. No, they didn't say nothing to nobody. So when I got back, people were like, oh, how was leave? Like, and I'm like, what? Like, why didn't you guys tell anybody? Please. Like, what? Why would you let them do this to me? My first 2 weeks back to work, people were still like, how's the baby? Oh, I saw you took a vacation. You weren't here for a week and a half. And I'm just like, shut up. Why are you talking to me? I think one day I went home, I was like, it's too much. It was really bad. It was very unfortunate for me. I will say life moves on, and that's probably the hardest part, because we have the dates in our head. So for me, when I got pregnant, I signed up for everything, and all the apps, all my period apps, I turned into pregnancy apps. So, and I don't know why it won't let me unsubscribe, but the baby list keeps emailing me. And it's in my spam now, thank God, but it keeps reminding me how far along I should be. I literally got an email, I think, a day ago about you're 36 weeks. And I was like, kill me. It is like, why won't you stop emailing me? Like, what? And even some of the apps, you have to restart. I think it was my period tracking app, and I think it's called Ova or Ovia. And okay, so my camera cut out, so hopefully this isn't too crazy of a cut for my husband. But I have a period tracking app, and I put in that I was pregnant, and then when I tried to change it to hey, no longer pregnant, it wouldn't let me. So I had to literally restart the whole thing, and that was just so annoying. But I lost all my information, but it's fine. Because it wouldn't let me say that I wasn't pregnant anymore. It's like, why would you do this? All the milestones are horrible, and it's really hard to accept, because I should have been a mom this year. I should have been pregnant this year. Even with our second transfer, like I would have still had the baby at this time. So it's really just so difficult when you had everything planned out and you know exactly where you were going to be. And, you know, I'd asked one of our friends to take our maternity photos and just telling him like, hey, yeah, I don't need you to take my maternity photos anymore. And he was like, why? And I was like, don't ask me questions. Anywho, it's exhausting. And then relationships can get weird. So like my relationships with friends and family and like the things that they say to you can be really messed up. So there's some people, again, at my work who tried to say, yeah, I know what you're going through. And I'm sitting there like, do you? Because like you have multiple kids, you never went through infertility, you never did IVF, IUI, you didn't really struggle. So like, what do you understand? Your relationships with people are going to change. I even posted a video a few weeks ago about, you know, what are some things that have changed when you go through IVF or have a miscarriage. What are some things people say to you? And the consensus seems to be people say negative things or try to compare themselves to the IVF community. I think that's a very bold thing for anyone who's never dealt with infertility to do. I understand that it's human nature to try and like relate, but honestly, it is so disrespectful to someone who's dealing with infertility to even try to understand, like not try to understand, but to try and say, oh yeah, I know what you're going through. No, you don't. I will fight you. So like, for example, someone tried to relate to me because I think she said, she was like, yeah, I know what you're going through. I had a tough pregnancy. Huh? What? Like, what are you talking about? Like, it like short circuits you for a second because you're like, oh, so you didn't deal with infertility. You didn't actually have a miscarriage. You just kind of had like a scare. Go away now. Like, go away. Like, why would you say that? Even people who are like, yeah, I had a miscarriage. Yes, that is so sad and it is the worst thing that you could ever go through. But again, it's not a pissing contest, but if you're initiating it, you are the one who's like, hey, I know you had a miscarriage after years of infertility and this was your like one chance to have a baby. I know what you're going through because I also had a miscarriage. Respectfully, you don't, because it's more than a miscarriage. It is now potentially years of more planning, testing. It's more money. It is still the reason of like, why can't I get pregnant? You have already had kids. You can just do it naturally. I can't do that. Timelines have changed. There's so much that goes into IVF and infertility and finding out what's wrong with you. So you trying to say, oh, I get it. You understand like a fraction of what someone going through IVF is going through. And if you say, oh yeah, I know what you're going through because I had a tough pregnancy. You don't understand at all. So that's weird. So people do say really weird stuff in your relationship through IVF will change your relationships, and miscarriage is going to change your relationship with people because they just say the darndest things. Truly. It's maddening. So I do caution you and also be okay with not being okay with what people say to you. So that's all I have for you. Please let me know the craziest thing someone has ever said to you. It's wild what people come up with. And that's one thing that I've noticed on the TikTok page that I have is people say crazy stuff. So If you feel comfortable saying some of the wild things, please share it below and like and subscribe. Bye.